Hey guys, welcome back to my channel called You Seem Normal, where I talk about all things mental health related, kind of bringing you on my journey. This past week I started a professional job, and so I'm newly in the workforce, and I kind of wanted to talk about just some of the things I've done this week to set precedent for myself of good things that I'll do to take care of myself regarding mental health and self-care in the workplace. I just want to make a disclaimer before I start that I am aware of my privilege that I am able to have this type of job with this flexibility and responsibility right out of college. I'm aware that other people do not get to work jobs like this. For me, there were factors that I contributed to in order to get the job, of course, but then I also have privilege in things that I do not have control over, and so I recognize that. So just try to take what I'm saying at face value and understand that it is my experience. And yeah, I can't really say anything wrong about my experience. Let's get started. The first thing I've done to make sure that I'm taking care of myself in the workplace is making sure I'm thinking of myself as a professional. I was a huge intern. I was an intern at 6 different places. I had 6 internships. And so there's kind of a tendency to think of yourself as an intern or as a student, which I've been for the last 17 years. I've been a student. Why thinking of myself as a professional so good is that if I need to take care of business to make me better, I'm able to do that. If you think of yourself as a professional, you have a sort of air around you that you are meant to be there. You're trying to fight off that imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of people in entry-level positions are kind of fighting that imposter syndrome, and they're thinking of themselves as maybe not being as valuable as they are. So try to think of yourself as a professional. The next thing I have is I've left all of my work. I've tried to, almost 100% of my work at the office. So once I am packing up for the day, I kind of think through my head, what do I need my next morning self to know? So I'll write a little note. But other than that, I close my laptop, I leave it at work, I leave everything else at work. I'm grateful to be in an org with a culture that is very, seems like respecting your boundaries at night, and most people I work with have families, and so they're mostly with their families, and so I'm not working around the clock, even though in a position like this, I totally could be. And so the next thing I have is setting boundaries at work, which for me was setting boundaries about what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. So really looking at the job description and saying, if somebody asks me to do something and I've been warned that people will probably ask me to do things that aren't my job, it's really their job, look at the job description and see if that's actually part of your role. So for example, I am not a newsletter writer. I am not the social media poster. Another thing I'm doing, of course, when I get home, I'm very tired, which I was prepared for being extremely tired because, it's a big change to go and be somewhere for 8, 9, 10 hours, then be in and out of your dorm or in and out of your apartment just all day when you're in college. And so for me, it's going to sleep when I'm tired. That's really important, and it usually means it's quite early, like 8:39. A thing that I really have struggled with in the past couple years is I have extreme and dangerous road rage, and so it's gotten a lot better from last year. Last year I wasn't able to drive and I had to use public transportation because of my road rage, because I could not be safe in a car. It's gotten a lot better through therapy and medication, but there are still these urges I have when I'm on the road. Where I work is not close to my house, so it's a commute, and so I'm in the car even longer and on the road, and so for me, it's talking through the situation in my head and trying to remain calm and letting the other guy win. So a lot of it is just, talking to myself in my head and saying, I want to do this right now, but I'm not going to do it because it's very dangerous. I'm just trying to get home. The 7th thing I have is setting a loose start time, and this allows me to not stress on the road, and it also ties back to being a professional. Once you get into more salaried positions, you don't have to clock in and out the same way, but I'm kind of in that mindset, I need to record every hour and every minute and make sure I'm at my desk at the exact same time, and that is something that has stressed me out a lot. At a couple of my internships ago, I did ask for accommodations for coming in for going into the job, and setting a later start time so that I wouldn't go when there was so much traffic, and then just giving myself like a 15 to 30 minute window of I'll be in from here to here, and that way in the car I'm not stressing about not being there and like getting all my emotions up, and then in turn participating in road rage. Another thing I do is I take time to do some personal things I have to do, such as making a doctor's appointment or making a therapy appointment. You're only able to do those things during business hours. So, and it's not going to take long, but just having those to-dos and doing those, and I usually do them about like midday. Really important one for starting any new role is being able to ask questions. I've been admitting when I need help or straight up am super confused. Like, for example, I went to the person who like sort of onboarded me and I said, I have like questions, but I don't know who I should even direct them to. Like, it's confusing to me to know if they go to the business people or the HR people or the tech people. And even within those departments, I don't know who to talk to. And so just admitting that you're straight up confused is nice. And I will also say my position is not in corporate America, and I think there is a culture difference there too. But I had trouble going up and asking somebody something like those. I would take entire therapy sessions to talk through that it's okay to tell somebody or ask somebody something. What has been allowing me to stay in the moment and do my work, which I was so afraid of. I'm still sort of afraid of having days or weeks where I'm just not going to be able to handle things. Staying in the moment is what really allows me not to stress and to get things done. So many things are just thrown at you, but I made a list of them and I just wanted to put them out into the universe kind of as a reminder to myself in the future of like, these are some things that I've tried to do since the beginning and I want to keep up with them. Specifically things like leaving work at the office and thinking of myself as a professional. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's at @YouSeemNormal, and as well subscribe to this channel because I post videos every week. Can you believe that? Don't be normal. Excessive yawning is a side effect of Prozac, if you didn't know. Excessive yawning, that's a legit side effect, and I have it. If you made it this far, good for you. Wow, you really care. Thank you.